Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our fourth live webinar. And today we are going to be having a discussion with regards to elevating customized SOX safety with OEKO-TEX. So, let me introduce myself. My name's Rob, and I've been in the textile business for more than 25 years. I'm the founder at Kingsley, and I head up what is the sustainability within our organization. Philip, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I'm Philip Heupler, and thanks for having me here and show some slides on why OEKO-TEX is a good choice. From OEKO-TEX, we are different institutes, and Hohenstein is the institute in Germany. I've been working for Hohenstein for around 6 years, and I've been doing all kinds of certifications for many customers for all sorts of textiles and other related items all around the world.
Perfect. Thank you. So, before we start, I just want to bring your attention that all the attendees that are here, we have a little fishing bowl and we put all the participants inside. So later, there will be a lucky winner, and that lucky winner will have 100 free pairs of customized knitted socks in your choice of either the Euro cotton, the recycled socks, in accordance to OEKO-TEX. So we'll announce the winner later. So what we will be covering today is going to be unveiling the secrets to identifying trustworthy suppliers. Now, this is very important to be able to distinguish between what are legitimate suppliers and those that are considered to be greenwashers. Because with the rising demand for eco-friendly custom products, it's important to spot the genuine producer who has the traceability, the transparency through their certifications, their validations, to check and see that they have a transparent supply chain. We'll also learn how OEKO-TEX certification can improve the safety and quality of customized socks. We'll discover ways to reduce your carbon footprint and at the same time keep your brand strong in today's eco-conscious market. Then we will be discovering practical strategies to drive sales and reduce carbon footprint. And then lastly, we'll be delving into what is the main purpose of this whole webinar, which is delving into the benefits of our OEKO-TEX certification. The important thing here is to consider and distinguish trustworthy suppliers from greenwashers. So, finding out if a brand is truly sustainable, it's not a difficult process, really. We always got to ask them about accreditations and transaction certificates, because that's really important about the transparency, the validation behind it. How genuine is the actual producer itself? And then many brands use terms like sustainable, eco-friendly as marketing buzzwords. And it's important to dig a lot deeper. When I say a lot deeper, you've got to delve into what is the supply chain, not just from the actual manufacturing itself, but from the actual supplier behind them. So we always have to ask for details of sustainable practices that they are implementing. A truly sustainable company, if you actually call them or ask them for some sort of evidence of eco practices and sustainability, they would gladly give you all the information that you need through certifications. Then you could ask the questions, can you validate what you're telling me to be genuine? And that's really important in today's era, because one has to be able to tell the difference between the legitimate producer, who in fact holds the accreditation, and the greenwasher who claims that he has it too, but they don't. So you can even make claims to a third party. Now, I want to refer to that. Anyone that makes claims nowadays, it's always got to be a third party, because evidence has to be impartial. That's why you should check the company's website or social media to see if their claims are backed by independent organizations. Such an organization could be the Hohenstein Institute that issued the OEKO-TEX 100 standard, as an example. So we, in fact, have in fact, I believe, the only company in our business model to have the cradle-to-gate sustainability platform. And it's quite interesting in a sense, because each one of our products, you simply have to scan. Oh, where's that sheet? This is the validation system I'm showing you here. Now, if you look at these QR codes, you simply scan and you can check that we are validated according to the certification in question. So as an example, Safi, could you scan the bottom one over here?
Okay.
Which is the OEKO-TEX.
This is for bamboo and
bamboo and cotton, right? So once that's scanned, it's validated
so you can
that we have the certificate, right? It's updated, and it's not like it's a certificate to prove that we are validated, right? That's important to understand that we as a company have it internally within our organization. And that's the beauty about Cradle to Gate as well. We have, behind the validation process, each one of our stocks has a unique QR code. And what that means is, once scanned, out jumps the sustainability report. And it's not just about how eco-friendly is the cotton. It has to do with social responsibility, traceability, transparency. I'm referring to the entire supply chain, not just our supply chain, but that supply chain according to our supplier of yarn. They hold the same accreditations and processes. So when we're manufacturing, from when the seed is planted and cultivated, to when the yarn is spun, to when it's supplied to us as a knitting company, we can demonstrate throughout the entire structure of the business the traceability and transparency.
now you have to go to
Yeah.
the video.
Right. So we're on a mission to redefine the true sustainability within our organization. So this is an example of our certifications that you see here. We've got the SGS, the SEDEX Meter Pillar 4, which is Social Responsibility Audit, the FSC, and the Global Recycled Standard. I want to show you and bring you up to speed with what is our zero waste sock knitting facility. So I'm going to take my camera outside and I'm going to go to one of our socks knitting facilities, which is the closest room, so I can demonstrate what it is. Is that camera ready?
Just give me a
Yeah,
moment.
anyway. Sometimes it's better to show you during the webinar the process behind zero waste sock knitting, which evidently when we have the waste.
Yes, you are ready now.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'll just take that.
You are unmuted. So you can speak, Rob.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to go to the closest room where we have sock machines because we've got two facilities. I'm just going to show you the one that's closest. So over here we have Busi Giovanni machines. And as you can see, when we are sock knitting, you can see where the yarn comes up here, through here, and goes to another room. Now I'll show you that room where we're going to now is the zero waste sock knitting. It's a vacuum chamber into which all the excess yarn, which is composed of cotton, polyamide, polyester, elastic, for example, is retained in there. See? Throwing textile waste is forbidden. Why? Because it's taken and stored in this chamber, right? And once it's full, that excess waste is then stored in these bags. You can actually see all this. And this is then repurposed. We have a company that will collect this and repurpose it and use it in the furniture business or for custom filling for cushions, for example. So nothing is ever thrown away from this factory. And it's the same for carton and plastic. All right, perfect. This is where we keep yarns. The yarns you see here is all nylon. Okay, so that's it. Back into the office.
You can leave from there, please. Yeah.
Leaving the meeting.
Yeah. Great. Give it to me. You already did. Now you can.
Right, so now we go onto the section of the anti-greenwashing validation system. Now, I'm going to keep this very brief because I'm not going to give you the 30-minute version. I'm going to try and do this in just 1 minute. So we implemented the anti-greenwashing system because what we understand, and the most important thing in business, is if a customer can gain your trust through being honest and genuine with proper ethical business practices, you know, the validation and truthful, honest truth about accreditations, that when it's investigated, we can have the validation behind it. So what we've done is we have the BCom Cradle to Gate, which is a very advanced system that I explained earlier, which takes into consideration 5,500 variables in the sustainability practice of it. We have SMETA Pillar 4, which strengthens the ethical stances on product origin, supply chain ethics, and responsible production processes, improving the safety and benefits for employees. Then we have the ISO 9001 Quality Management System, ISO 14001, which helps organizations minimize environmental impacts and comply with regulations. So to give you an idea, we have 2 central compressor areas where we have a special condensing machine which retains all the dirty oil. So any water going into groundwater, into the ground, is simply the equivalent of distilled water. There is no oil, anything else in there. We have ISO 45001, which is occupational health and safety. We have GOTS, we have the Global Recycled Standard, which tracks and verifies that recycled material content has effectively been used in the manufacturing process. And that is done through transaction certificates. So if a customer comes to us and says, Rob, my customer requests that he needs some sort of proof that the socks they ordered are genuinely recycled, we pull the transaction certificate, and in that transaction certificate, which is controlled by a third-party union, it demonstrates the date of purchase, the customer, it's got the batch number, the number of kilos, the color, and that's all traced back to our supplier. Even the invoices in there, the CMR, to prove that it effectively was delivered to the customer, so that there's an example of traceability through our validation system. That's very important. And this basically third-party sustainability reports details best practice for business. Right.
I can move to tree plant.
Yeah, tree plant.
I will be showing now green spot,
Yeah,
so they can see.
So in our company, for each and every order that we receive, a customer will receive from 10 to 100 planted trees according to the volume of the order. And that's just some additional initiative that we're doing, that we've added on for the gold standard for sustainability. And every time a customer reorders, so they get a certificate, which is updated each and every time when a customer places orders. Then we have a sustainability calculator. It's quite interesting, which we are going to discuss a little bit later on. Right? It's quite interesting because the environmental savings, they are brutal when you in fact see the information of how much you can actually save by buying recycled socks over conventional cotton, as an example. Right, so how does your business benefit from Kingley's OEKO-TEX certification? I've got to mention one word, which is probably the most important key word, and that is trust, honesty, because once a company understands that our products have internally been accredited by the Hohenstein Institute, they know that the product is safe to the contact of the baby's skin, for example. So, you know, the product, the sock itself, has been tested, and it has passed the stringent criteria that the Hohenstein Institute used to be able to obtain the certificate in question. Now we have, with regards to the certificates, we have for bamboo, cotton, the recycled cotton, and for organic cotton as well. And those are internal certificates, but our suppliers also have the same certifications that we have, because this is the same thing, the transparency, the traceability of the supply chain. It is very transparent at Kingly, and we're more than happy to always show you all the validation and the proof and the certifications when required.
Over to Philip.
Right, Philip, over to you, my friend.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Rob, for the
Welcome.
introduction. And so let's get started with some basic facts about OEKO-TEX. The association was founded in 1992 by two institutes, and we from Hohenstein Institute are proud to be one of the founding members. And currently there are 17 testing institutes that provide different certifications for customers all over the world. The institutes develop their own testing methods and limit values for the different products together. And last year, OEKO-TEX had over 44,000 active certificates and labels. So can I switch now?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, here's an overview of the active certificates in 2023. So the biggest part of those are the standard 100 certificates with over 30,000. That's also the product we started with in 1992. And over the years, we've grown and added more products like STEP, Leather Standard, or Made in Green. So these certifications and labels are newer and have fewer numbers. But overall, the large number of certificates and labels is quite impressive, and we're pleased that the numbers are growing each year. And yeah, in the standard 100, as Rob said, this is also where Kingly has their 3 certificates. So here we can see the certification portfolio of OEKO-TEX. That means we offer different solutions for different issues along the supply chain. And here's an overview where we can locate the different OEKO-TEX products. First, we have the input control. It's always great to be able to control the goods that go into a production, as it's much more difficult to change a product if the raw material is bad from the start. So you can start with EcoPassport, for example. That's a certification for chemicals. That means we test the raw chemicals like printing paste or liquids or dyestuffs for harmful substances before they go into a product. The other part listed there is the organic cotton. That's a certification, as the name implies, for organic cotton. It was launched last year, and here we start testing from the field, and the cotton is followed through the supply chain to the final product. So there you have a traceability from the field till the final product. But therefore, it is also part of the input control. Then our next step is the process control. That's covered by sustainable textile and leather production. The short form for that is STEP. Here, the conditions under which products are made in a factory are checked. That means we cover the quality management, the chemical management, the environmental performance and management, the social responsibility, and also the safety of workers. So let's get to the output control. There we can find the 3 existing certificates of Kingly in the famous standard 100. The other certificates are organic cotton and leather standard. And all of these certifications are for textile and leather and focus on testing those goods for harmful substances. We can test different products of different production stages, from fibers to ready-made socks. Everything is possible. And also related items like buttons or zippers that you need to produce different sorts of clothing are tested and certified. There we also have Made in Green in the output control. That's a product label, which is a combination of the previous certificates. end step. That means it includes the product safety and the conditions under which a product was made. And additionally, some supporting tools are listed there, of which I want to introduce the buying guide. There, the certificate owners can list their products, and potential customers who are looking for a specific product can check the guide to find a producer. Let's say you're looking for a sock made of cotton and polyamide elastane in Bulgaria. If Kingly is listed in the buying guide, they will be given as a contact. So today we want to focus on the standard 100, for which Kingly has already also done their first renewal of the certificates this year. As you can see here, 79% of German textile retailers know this certification. And with that number, it is the most known among textile certifications. So what exactly is the standard 100? We basically test textile products for many different harmful substances. The 100, by the way, stands for the substances that were tested in the beginning in 1992. Along the way, we've come to over 1,000 substances that are tested now during a certification, but there's no plan of changing the name. And this continuous updating is a very positive aspect of the certification. The restricted substances list is updated according to scientific research, to legal requirements, and also the production methods. As we have a constant change in production and also legislation, it's important to adapt the certification and the testing procedures. And the experts here at OEKO-TEX spend a lot of time to make sure that everything is checked and transformed into the certification. Another important point is that the standard 100 complies with various legal requirements worldwide. For example, in the EU, it covers Annex 17 and 14 of REACH and the substances of very high concern that are relevant for textiles and leather. Even for the Chinese norm, GB 18401, limit values are covered as well. And also the Affirm RSL and ZDHC list are watched closely for any changes. So let's come to what this certificate includes. First of all, the risk assessment of potentially harmful substances in textiles. And this is achieved, as previously said, by the inclusion of legal requirements, by scientifically sound criteria and testing methods, and also by use-oriented testing. That means the testing is chosen according to the end use of the products. There are 4 different product classes, for example. For textiles that come into contact with baby skin, values are the strictest. That would be the product class 1. The least strict limit value applies to textiles with hardly no skin contact at all, like upholstery fabrics or curtains, and those can run under product class 4. Here we can, on the right side of the slide, see also Kingly certificates that are listed there, just a small version of these. The second part is that we use a uniform set of criteria, that is our restricted substances list, for the analysis of harmful substances. Then we also have the quality assurance via an on-site visit. That's an audit of the production site to check the process, the existing quality management, and if the information given during an application is correct. And if necessary, corrective actions, obligations are given to an applicant, and which must be fulfilled. And lastly, there are sample picks of goods that are available on the market. We buy these samples and test them to see if the goods comply with the standard 100. So that's a safety measure to make sure that all products comply with the standard 100. And if we see they don't, we take necessary action against the certificate holder. So yeah, let's take a look into the modular system of the standard 100. Here, as you can see, we have a sock, Kingley's product, and it consists of several different parts. For example, the main yarns, it might have anti-slip knobs, a sewing thread, or a small attachment, even like a bow. And also the dyeing and bleaching process of the yarn needs to be taken into account. And for each of these parts, an existing OEKO-TEX certificate can be handed in during an application. There could be the standard 100 for the textile parts, for example, the raw yarn and the textile bow, or an eco passport for the dye stuff. And if all the components are covered by an existing OEKO-TEX certificate, there are no testing costs, or depending on the scenario, very reduced costs. I mean, if you have a dyeing process, even if it's covered by an eco passport, some parameters have to be checked on the ready-made product itself. And important requirements that need to be checked if you hand a certificate in during the application are that the product matches the scope given in the certificate, and also the annex and product class need to match. And of course, the certificate needs to be valid. Furthermore, we now require invoices as a proof that the relationship between the supplier and the applicant is actually there. And finally, we here have a statement to close this overview of OEKO-TEX. Here we see 92% of manufacturers and 73% of consumers think that product safety is an increasingly important priority. And these numbers come from a study from 2013. So we can imagine that these numbers are even higher now. And if we follow this statement, we can see why the standard 100 is still on the rise. It helps manufacturers bring awareness for product safety into their supply chain. It can help to bring suppliers' products up to the desired standard. And also manufacturers can label their products to bring awareness to consumers. And finally, for consumers, it helps to make an informed decision on whether to buy a product or not. So yeah, I think this was just a short overview and helps to understand why Kingley decided to get their products certified by OEKO-TEX.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you very
Thanks so much, Philip.
Thank you.
Thanks. On another note, we've currently signed up for OEKO-TEX STEP certification, which Philip kindly explained prior, and that we aim to have that within 3 months. And on top of that, we're also currently in the stage of obtaining EcoVadis, in the hope and anticipation that we may get the platinum score. Who knows? We will know in 3 months' time as well. Anyway, great. So I left the best for last. So this is a case study with regards to our certified recycled socks, of which we have an OEKO-TEX certificate. And it's quite amazing to know that in 2023, we produced 37,764 pairs. But if you look at the environmental savings, it's in fact astonishing. And what we've done is, to validate this, we in fact have data that is calculated from LCA work, right? Now that's like a life cycle assessment. And the people behind it, because obviously it's important to have the proof behind the pudding, such. It's all verified by ITEX, UNESCO, and the University of Valencia that have conducted research and investigated and come up with the numbers. So, as an example, on our webpage, we have created a sustainability calculator. So let's take, for example, on the upcycled socks, let's input there 1,000 pairs of KS04, which is a classic crew sock, for example, okay? And you can actually see the environmental savings. 2,652 kilowatts of energy saved, 1,088 kilos of carbon dioxide saved, 710,530 liters of water saved, and 120 square meters of landfill saved. Now, it's astonishing, and because it's alarming, one has to be able to validate that information. And just previously, I mentioned that a life cycle assessment has been produced through third-party organizations, OEKO-TEX, UNESCO, and the University of Valencia. So we have that information readily available to prove that these statistics, these numbers are correct. This is very, very important because, you know, it's a sustainability calculator. And the other day, someone said to me, Rob, I don't understand how 100 pairs of these, one pair of socks can save a staggering 711 liters of water. It is true, and we have the proof behind it. So that's why over the last 5-6 years, we developed the gold standard for sustainability. Not just the sustainability practices, but the social responsibility, the transparency, the traceability behind the supply chain, the product safety. That is why internally we have those 3 certificates from OEKO-TEX. And like I said previously, our suppliers of the yarn also hold those accreditations. So it is 100% validated, truthful, and honest. And that is what is probably the most important closing remark that I'm going to have is, with trust comes sales and great partnerships. This is what it's all about. Fostering relationships with your customers. And from there, you'll attain the turnover, the sales revenue, the repeat orders, because the customer satisfaction will always be high. So I thank everyone for attending this webinar. And Mariah, could you do the honors? Mariah is going to be the one who is going to select the lucky winner for the rough. This is Mariah. Now, we don't have a notary. Now, listen, everyone, we don't have a notary public here. That's why we're doing it in front of everyone, so we're not cheating, huh?
I think I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. Okay, pick it up.
Lucky one.
Who is the lucky winner?
It is
Emma.
Emma Forrester from ORWAG Promotions.
Congratulations.
However, is Emma here today?
Hello, I'm here.
You're there. Oh,
Hello.
Emma. So, question. Well, first off, congratulations. And I do have a question. What do you prefer? Recycled socks or the standard Euro cotton?
Is there a right answer to that?
No, it isn't really. If I had to make a choice, perhaps the recycled socks could be good, but we can have this conversation later, perhaps.
Yeah, no, the recycled one sounds great.
Are you excited?
Really excited, thank you.
Considering it's not Happy Friday, so at least it's a happy day for you in a sense.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, Happy Wednesday, yeah. First time through. Excellent. There you go. Look, just so I can make it public. Yep, right over there.
Thank you very much. It's been really informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Fantastic. Excellent.
Thank you for your time. It's been great.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And what we're going to do within 2 hours, we're going to send an email to our attendees with the script, with the actual PDF version, so you can go through and make notes. And for anyone that doesn't have the book, let us know your address and we'll be sure to send you one. But because we have to send you a book, we'll be more than happy to add on a free assortment of socks for you. So what we will do is we'll have the recycled socks and also the Euro cotton and the bamboo, for example. Perfect. Excellent. Lastly, you know, we forgot to ask, is there anybody that has any questions?
Yes, Ryan.
Ryan?
Yes. Hi. I just wanted to say hi and to advise you all that I'm the representative of Hohenstein in Sofia, Bulgaria.
I know
Our
you
office
very well, Ryan.
exists already, has been opened in 2005, and we have more than 80 customers here in the region, also Balkan Peninsula and neighboring countries. It's been a pleasure to have you all here to listen to the presentation of my colleague from Hohenstein and to all of you. And let's hope we'll have good business in the future as well.
Absolutely. Raina, I remember when you were here last at Kingley,
Yes.
that famous comment of yours. Rob, you're a collector of certificates. I remember it very well. Yes.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Philip, I have a question for you, because how do you pronounce Hohenstein? Because I'm South African, so I say Hohenstein. What would a German say, for example?
Hohenstein. You
Oh.
don't really pronounce the second H, you just Hohen.
I'm very sorry, Philip, but I
No
always
problem.
refer to it as Hohenstein, my friend. Anyway, so thanks again for everyone attending. It was a fantastic webinar. And like I say, within 2 hours, we'll be informing you with all the information that we've discussed today. Also with regards to the book, and free complimentary samples for everyone who attended. Right? Thank you again for everything.
Yeah, and if
you.
there are any questions about OEKO-TEX, please get in contact with Raina for Bulgaria, or also me for any other countries.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
glad to help.
Brilliant.